2018 Tucson for $159 a month, or buy a new Santa Fe Sport with $37.50 in bonus cash. Hurry in today.
Good morning, America. This morning, the flash flooding emergency, the deadly deluge. At least one person swept away by raging waters.
It is like an ocean over here.
As the Midwest to the East Coast bakes in unbearable temperatures, how hot will it get?
Breaking overnight, stabbing spree. A man attacking victims at an apartment complex in Boise, Idaho. Police saying some of the victims are members of the refugee community. A suspect is in custody, and hear what we're learning this morning.
Massive marches. The protests in all 50 states against the Trump administration's immigration policy. Celebrities taking the stage as the president sounds off on the border debate.
Tour boat explosion, the terrifying moments caught on camera. At least one American killed as this boat erupts in flames in the Bahamas.
Doctor!
The injured airlifted to the U.S. for treatment.
And LeBron watch is on. Speculation swirling around the NBA superstar as he arrives in Los Angeles. Could he be Laker bound? The new clues as King James takes the plunge into free agency.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, everybody. Paul is off. Very glad, though, to have Diane Macedo and Whit Johnson on the desk this morning. We've got a lot of big stories to get to, but we want to just touch on the story that you are obsessed with this morning.
LeBron James, this would be huge in Los Angeles, right? They're used to winning championships there, but Kobe retired. Now, everybody watching this, they've been tracking LeBron's every move. My local news friends there in the helicopters in Los Angeles, literally watching him take his first steps in L.A. to see if that's the place where he ends up. Other cities in the mix, though. Nobody knows where he's going to go, but we're watching it. We'll have more on that coming up.
They covered it L.A. style.
Absolutely. He likes to keep us on our toes and work up the drama.
Definitely.
But we're going to start things off with a pair of developing weather stories. The heat wave headed for the Northeast is bringing temperatures near or above 100 degrees and is expected to last through the July 4th holiday. Also breaking overnight, the major flash flooding hitting the heartland now turned deadly. Rob is covering all of that for us from Lower Manhattan. Rob?
Good morning, Diane. We are looking at that building heat, some of that heat fueling some of these thunderstorms, dropping immense amount of rains across the state of Iowa. And as you mentioned, flash flood emergency overnight in Des Moines, over 7 inches of rain falling in a short period of time, calling for that flash flooding and cars swamped in some cases, people having to be rescued. There was one fatality of a man that was swept through the water in his van. So a dangerous situation there. Still have a flash flood to watch out for parts of Iowa. And we had tornadoes yesterday, at least 5 reported in the state of Nebraska. There you see one in the south central portion of that state. We are going to have a severe weather threat today, but the big story, of course, is the heat. Memphis, St. Louis, Chicago again today, at least for most of the day, in through Michigan. We'll see heat indexes over 100 degrees all the way down to Dallas, and then building tomorrow across the southeast and in towards the northeast, I-95 corridor as well. But today here in New York City and D.C. and Hartford, even as far north as Burlington, temperatures will be into the 90s, and if not, getting close to 100 degrees in some spots. And it lasts right through the 4th of July holiday. Guys, back to you.
Rob, thank you. We'll continue to check in with you throughout the hour. We want to turn now, though, to breaking news overnight. And this is, I'll warn you, a disturbing story. It involves a stabbing spree in Boise, Idaho. A man attacking people in an apartment complex there. Many of them, according to the police, immigrant families. Details are just coming in on this, and Ron is tracking it all. Ron, what do we know?
Dan, a very disturbing scene. Witnesses describe a gruesome scene there. The victim stabbed and bleeding outside of a apartment complex, and also in the parking lot there, police. They do have a suspect now in custody, but they do not yet know a motive for this vicious attack.
Confirm they're requesting as many units as we can get.
This morning, a brutal act of violence terrorizing a refugee community in Boise. 9 people stabbed at an apartment complex. Police say it all unfolded just before 9 p.m. local time last night.
Advise medics that there's a child victim on Whitewood Lane.
Officers responding to a call of a man with a knife. When they arrived, a horrific scene. Investigators saying victims, some of them foreign refugees, were found in the parking lot and inside apartments, some suffering life-threatening injuries.
The age range of the victims varies dramatically, and it's affected all aspects of the families within the apartment complex.
After a brief chase, police took the suspect into custody.
It's a single evil individual who attacked people with no provocation that we are aware of.
A 30-year-old man who they're interviewing now. Authorities investigating a motive.
Says the suspect is from out of state. They're not saying from where or when he went to Idaho. Investigators also said they're not aware of any connection between that suspect and the victims. Again, 9 people stabbed at the apartment complex in Boise, Idaho. Horrific story.
Disturbing details.
Yeah.
All right, Ron, thanks so much. And as you mentioned, though, police still looking for a motive in that case. Still, the attack happening just hours after tens of thousands marched across the country over immigration. Powerful scenes at rallies against the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy and the separation of children from their parents. ABC's Kenneth Moten is in Washington, where there was a big turnout. Kenneth, good morning. And the separation of children
than initially expected. From Pennsylvania Avenue here to streets all around the country, we heard people shouting the same message, that families belong together. This morning, the national outcry from coast to coast. Tens of thousands of people in the streets Saturday protesting President Trump's zero-tolerance immigration policy that resulted in the separation of families at the border. They rallied in the nation's capital and marched over the Brooklyn Bridge. More than 700 marches in every state. Massive crowds in Chicago, Dallas, Los Angeles, and Boston, angry about images of children in detention centers in cages.
I understand rules, I understand process, I understand all that, but this is about children.
Demonstrators here in D.C. walking, marching in 90-plus degree heat. They're hoping that these images will reach the president.
I hope that this would make some kind of noise in the White House, but I don't think this is enough.
Demonstrators demanded legislators act. Democrats from Congress stepped on stages across the country. Star power also front and center, including John Legend, Alicia Keys, and America Ferrera.
Are you feeling strong?
Outrage, even though President Trump signed an executive order to stop family separations. And this week, a federal judge in California ordered the administration to reunite more than 2,000 children with their parents within 30 days. That immigration order that the president signed wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough because we know what's really in his heart and this administration's heart is to continue this kind of horrible atrocities.
During the massive rallies, President Trump was on Twitter calling U.S. immigration laws, quote, the dumbest anywhere in the world. Protesters say they're looking to Congress, but lawmakers left for the 4th of July holiday without passing an immigration fix. Dan?
Kenneth, thank you. I want to pick up on what you said there. As the marchers hit the streets, the president was on Twitter making clear he's not backing down on this issue. And ABC's White House correspondent Tara Palmieri is in New Jersey, where the president is spending the weekend at his golf club in Bedminster. Tara, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. The president is playing on a key theme in the 2016 campaign, accusing Democrats of being anti-law enforcement by stoking fears of increased crime. He's playing up a political landmine for the Democrats.
While thousands protest the Trump administration's zero-tolerance immigration policy, President Trump from his New Jersey golf course defending the law enforcement agency in charge of detaining and deporting undocumented immigrants. Tweeting, the Democrats are making a strong push to abolish ICE, one of the smartest, toughest, and most spirited law enforcement groups of men and women that I've ever seen. Trump also warning on Fox News that eliminating ICE would translate into a surge in deadly gangs like MS-13.
You get rid of ICE, you're going to have a country that you're going to be afraid to walk out of your house.
But some Democrats are calling for an end to immigrations and customs enforcement.
I don't think ICE today is working as intended.
Well, you think you should get rid of the agency?
I believe that it has become a deportation force.
Others calling for reform.
We need to rebuild our immigration system from top to bottom, starting by replacing ICE with something that reflects our morality.
The president accusing Democrats of turning their back on law enforcement, what he sees as a politically risky move for Democrats ahead of the midterms. This comes as the administration struggles to implement its zero-tolerance immigration policy while keeping families together.
I hope they keep thinking about it because they're going to get beaten so badly.
The president claimed he never pushed Republicans to support an immigration bill that failed overwhelmingly in the House. But on the day of the actual vote, he tweeted in all caps, quote, "House Republicans should pass the strong but fair immigration bill." Dan?
Tara, thank you. Let's go to Washington now, where we find Martha Raddatz, who's going to be hosting This Week later this morning. Martha, good morning to you. The president thinks immigration is a risky issue for the Democrats heading into the midterms. I know you spent some time on the road this week talking to voters. Do you get the sense that the president is right about this?
Well, I think the voters I talked to, those who are horrified by those images, are going to stand with those people down on the border who are separated and are extremely worried about it. But I got to tell you, Dan, I talked to a lot of people who surprisingly weren't affected by those images. One woman told me in Tennessee, she said, look, people are separated from their children all the time. Others were more compassionate about that, but they want an immigration bill. They want something done about the borders, and most people I talked to said exactly that. Now, if you're talking about ICE and you're talking about abolishing ICE, the president says that plays right into his hands, and from the people I talked to, it probably does, because the Democrats are seen by some as trying to keep these people together, opening the borders. That's what President Trump is saying. They want open borders. That kind of plays right into the president's hands, and they're criticizing law enforcement as well, having criticized President Trump for criticizing the FBI.
Yeah, and in a polarized nation, this is an issue that may inflame the base on both sides. And the other massive issue you spoke to voters about this week on the road was the Supreme Court. The president says he's going to announce his pick to replace the retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy a week from tomorrow. That will be huge news. And on the show this morning, you have a key senator, the Republican Susan Collins from Maine, who's a moderate. She could single-handedly torpedo this nomination. How much pressure do you think she's under, and do we have a sense of which way she's leaning?
Well, I think she's obviously under enormous pressure, and she was at the White House this week. Of course, President Trump inviting her and others to the White House, these key senators. Susan Collins, of course, is a pro-abortion rights person. That puts the pressure on her in an even greater way because there's so much focus on Roe v. Wade. She says she will not ask a nominee specifically about that, but clearly she wants someone who maintains that.
Martha Raddatz, we appreciate your analysis, as always, on a Sunday morning. And a reminder to everybody, Martha's got a big show this morning. As mentioned, she's going to talk to key Republican Senator Susan Collins about the upcoming Supreme Court battle. Also on the show, Senator Amy Klobuchar. She's a key Democrat on the Judiciary Committee. It's all coming up on This Week right here on ABC. Diane, over to you.
And now we're going to go to that deadly boat explosion in the Bahamas. You can see the flames and thick black smoke coming off the boat as people on a nearby boat attempt to rescue injured passengers. ABC's Ariel Reshef joins us with more.
Good morning, Diane. Panic and chaos on board that boat as passengers desperately tried to escape the flames. A deadly nightmare in paradise. Overnight, this tour boat with 12 passengers on board exploding off the coast of Exuma in the Bahamas.
Can we move this boat? Oh my God!
The blast killing 1 and injuring 9 others.
Bring the boat! Hey! Bring the boat! Bring the boat!
Watch as the thick black smoke billows into the air.
We need to get away from this area.
The blaze engulfing what was supposed to be a scenic tour, sparking panic on board and nearby.
That was gonna explode.
People wading out to help passengers, pulling this person from the flames to safety. This man bleeding, screaming for help.
Doctor! Doctor! Doctor!
Others fearing the tour boat might explode again. 10 Americans on board the tour boat, 2 native to the Bahamas. 4 of the injured airlifted by the U.S. Coast Guard to a hospital. All that's left of the boat, a charred skeleton.
Wow, that's bad.
As you heard there, the U.S. Coast Guard assisted in medevacing 4 Americans to Florida. The cause of that explosion, though, is still under investigation. Just terrifying images there.
Amazing. And people are on summer breaks and stuff as well, watching these images come in.
Popular tourist destination, absolutely.
All right, Ariel, thanks so much. For a check of our other stories we're following, Dr. Ron, I believe that's what Dan's come up with for you. Dr. Ron Claiborne with the other headline.
It's a permanent, it's just a PhD, it's not an MD.
It's an honorary
just
degree.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Whit, good morning to you, Diane. And Dan, good morning, everyone. We're going to begin in Maryland, where details are emerging in that deadly newsroom rampage. Court documents show that the suspected gunman, Jared Ramos, swore an oath to kill a writer at the Capital Gazette, the revelation from a 2014 filing. Ramos reportedly enraged because the Capital ran a column, an article about him harassing a woman. Ramos is accused of killing 5 newspaper employees. That happened last Thursday. In Thailand, receding waters are giving rescue teams better access to a cave system where 12 boys and 1 adult, members of a soccer team, have been trapped for over a week. Engineers are doubling the number of pumps removing water. Search crews hoping that the boys made it to the caves, out of the caves, flooded areas, and reach higher grounds. In Mexico, voters go to the polls today to elect a new president, capping a campaign marred by violence. The winner will succeed the president, Enrique Peña Nieto. Also at stake are hundreds of seats in the country's national legislature. A study found that more than 100 people have been killed during this election season, including candidates for public office. Some of that violence believed tied to drug cartels. And in Colorado, an arrest in the massive wildfire that charred more than 40,000 acres. 52-year-old Jesper Jorgensen. He's being held on arson charges in connection with the spring fire. And that fire, one of 8 burning in Colorado. And in Paris, a wild scene on a commercial airliner when a passenger headbutted a flight attendant. Guards rushing onto the EasyJet plane, which was at a gate at Charles de Gaulle Airport, pinning the man down, eventually taking him off of that aircraft. Video showing an attendant visibly shaken. As you can imagine, the flight crew says the passenger, along with 4 others, were drunk and disruptive. And finally, in eastern Pennsylvania, a debt cleared after decades of guilt. A driver paying off a parking fine, a ticket from 1974. Minersville police got this letter last week. The sender, known only as Dave, he owed $2 for leaving his car in a no parking zone. He actually paid back $5, adding $3 for interest.
Good old Dave.
There you go.
Good old Dave, a guilty conscience after all that time.
You didn't do the math on what the real interest should be?
Right, exactly. A lot more than $3, I'd say.
Reminds me of when you leave a library
away with
book and, it turns out you owe, $50,000.
Yeah, exactly. Has that happened to you?
No, but I might have a Blockbuster video somewhere.
Right.
I think you're allowed to keep those.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Dr. Ron. Appreciate that. Let's get it back to Rob once again, dressed for his golf game in Lower Manhattan. What's cooking?
Well, we're going to be cooking here pretty soon there, Dan. A great day to maybe take in a blockbuster movie and just sit in your house and crank up the AC if you can afford to do that, because it's going to be a long stretch of heat, that's for sure. We mentioned we're also monitoring this flash flooding that is occurring across central Iowa. We still have a flash flood warning that's posted for the Des Moines area, and we had over 7 inches of rain falling there, and there's still some more rain coming in. Some of the rivers there at record flood stage right now. This batch of thunderstorms is going to push off to the east. Chicago, you're going to be hot again today, but they're racing at Chicagoland Speedway, and that may be interrupted by thunderstorms later on today, some of which could be strong to severe with large hail, maybe a tornado. We had a few of those reported yesterday across Nebraska, and some more heavy rain, especially across Minnesota and Wisconsin. That's a check of what's happening nationally weather-wise. It's time now for a look at your local forecast. Check it out.
Heat advisory in effect today at noon through 8 o'clock. We are on weather alert as feels like temperatures creep into the triple digits. Make sure you're staying well hydrated and take frequent breaks if you are spending any time outdoors. As we take a look at that pool forecast, by lunchtime today, 93 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Temperature topping out in the upper 90s. And over the next couple of days, the heat will remain, likely seeing an additional heat advisory tomorrow with a feels like temperature of 105.
Welcome to July 1st, July 4th. It's a holiday week. Forget about the weekend. Lady Liberty behind me, so we're celebrating it. She'll be breaking a sweat later on today, as it feels like it will be up and over 100 degrees. A hot one coming. Yeah. Guys, back to you.
All right, stay cool out there, Rob. And we hope the athletes stay cool today as the Special Olympics USA Games kick off today. There are 2 standout runners we're looking at, paving the way for others to follow in their footsteps. And Adrian is here with their inspiring story. Adrian, good morning. I love this one.
I do too. In fact, I want all of you who are watching us right now, put the cereal down. I know you're tending to the kids or maybe on a treadmill, but these 2 are an inspiration, whether you're an elite athlete or not. Now making history as the first Special Olympic athletes to be sponsored.
Andy Bryant and Colleen Bryant aren't related by birth, but with the same last names and matching passion for running, this team is meant to be. Just look at all their medals.
I run 8 marathons.
I've done 30 marathons and 9 Bostons.
There you go, Colleen. Perfect.
As training partners, they've racked up multiple accomplishments and haven't let